Hello, everyone, and welcome to an unexpected one-shot. We're going to be continuing a little bit of Howler's background. So, to start off, I'll throw up the world map. Come on. Share, share. So, starting off your journey here, basically, the archaeologist.
Yeah.
And he basically said, fine, I'll lead you to some place where there's potentially lots of treasures, and as long as you don't give your blackmail on me. Basically, he was basically the blackmail on him is that he's blackmailing other people. So, because he was blackmailing other people in Shalarney because he wanted to. Basically, he was just to recap a little bit of your background. He was trying to gain mining rights in the place where the Thieves Guild is located. So he was trying to regain the mining rights in that area to see if there's any ancient artifacts buried under there, but also to see if he could get the mining operation started up again. But basically, since your guys are located in the mines, you made sure to get some dirt on him, so that way he didn't reopen mining operations, and so that's why he is being blackmailed. He basically blackmailed so that way other people couldn't get the mining rights for the area. Uh, he was blackmailing everybody else, so you have that information on him. So basically, he's going to lead you up to the Temple of Thraxian. He heard about it in one of his books, and he figures this is one of the better ways to start earning his keep because you got blackmail on him. So you guys have set up an expedition. Unfortunately, most of your rogue companions, which you have about a team of 25 or 30 guys, most of them are carrying his equipment. Um, he has a big wooden desk made of like a heavy wood, like oak or something. So there's like 5 guys just carrying that, and he has a big, obtusely tall chair that he wants you guys to bring. But you said that it's fine as long as somebody else is carrying it, so you have a couple guys behind you that are carrying, and he has like other packs of stuff that they basically have to carry.
Cart or something to make it easier. Or
Sorry?
we probably would have bring a cart or something to make it easier.
Yeah, there are some of the stuff is on carts, but
Okay.
again, like most of your guys are on guard duty with the carts, or driving the carts, or carrying equipment, or what have you. So you guys can have a couple of carts. So, but they're mostly on guard duty back there behind you. So you had all those 25. I'll say that you have 29 will be the exact number. So you have 25 guys on duty behind you, and including you, so 29 would be your party, the 4 that you have with you. Um, so you and the other 3. Plus there's the archaeologist, which would technically make 30. So he's just riding on one of the carts, looking over. He's actually in one of the carts. He has the chair set up and the desk so that he can continue doing work while you guys are walking and stuff. You're not sure how to react to that, but your guy can decide however he wants to react to that or not. Um, Basically, he's just sitting in that large back chair with the desk in front of him on the back of a cart, and he's just writing papers while you guys are going along the road, looking over different pages of stuff. So while you guys are doing that, you are here. So what would your the expedition plan is to go through Gaio, and then there are no very distinct road areas that go north of Gaio, but you have a general idea of where uh, a more traveled area would be to go up there.
Yeah.
So you're heading up that way, and then there's up here they have set up different like planked paths that you can go along.
Yeah. So first
So
off, you're just moving along the road north to the trading post and then to Gaio.
alrighty. Some you stop off here for a minute or two, Xandrix. Um, this city is, or little town type city area. It's not quite as big as a city, but it's not quite as small as a village, so it's quite a decent sized area. Um, you go through there. Some of your guys want to stop and get some supplies because they weren't exactly ready when you guys left, so they said, well, we'll just stop off over there for an afternoon. And this place is mostly it's mostly what's the word? A temple city or town. It's mostly surrounded the temple in the middle of Senna. So most of the knickknacks and stuff that you would be able to get here are like little statues and religious paraphernalia, that sort of stuff. But you're probably not too interested in that stuff anyway. So you pass through there, no problem. The trading post, relatively normal. At this point, you got your other character didn't go through here and burn the crops yet.
Yeah.
Normal. Um, though, if you care to, you can go to the inn and stop in, and you see that there's a guy that he's troubled about his crops being taken over by spirits or that sort of thing. But you're not too interested in that at the moment because you got to get going. There's the trading post guy who's the actual guy who does the trading at the trading post.
Yeah.
Um, he's pretty friendly, but you're not too interested in anything he has at the moment. So you just continue on. And the road up to Gaio is an S curve sort of thing. So it starts going north and then it curves west, and it goes west for a little while and then it starts heading north again. And then you reach Gaio, no problems. Um, Everybody's just assuming that you're a merchant caravan because you have it all disguised up and everything. Uh, so that way they don't assume what you're doing. Uh, so nobody suspects anything. Nobody's checked your wares or anything. No guard outfits that are like, are you smuggling stuff or anything?
So yeah, how long did we spend getting up here?
Up to Gaio, I'll say that you made it to Gaio, and you spent about 3 days getting there.
Okay. So then I'll let everyone know that we're stopping here for the day.
Alrighty, so you're at Gaio. Anything you want to do in Gaio before you leave? Any last minute preparations that aren't on your character sheet? You can get stuff there.
Uh, no.
Otherwise, you can go to a tavern for the rest of the night. You can go to the Ill Octopus, which
I'll
is the place that.
read you. go around, look for a tavern, and I'll let loose all the thieves. Some stuff probably end up going missing during the night.
All right. So you're at the ill octopus, which is the one that's most highly recommended, which is the one that you guys end up going to later. So technically, you've already been there.
Yeah.
So you end up going in there, and that might be why that you decided to go there at the first place. I don't remember the reason why you guys ended up going there, but I think you just wanted to find a tavern and you went there. So
Yeah.
that's a good reason. You've already been there, so you would have led the group there. Yep, the Ale Octopus isn't run by the guy that is there in the main campaign. It's run by a small little. He's kind of short human, and he's kind of old looking. So in the main campaign, you might assume that to him, and somebody had to take over, sort of thing. And he's just sort of hunched over the bar. If you want to do anything here in particular, you can talk to that guy. But otherwise, you don't see anything too interesting at the moment. You can roll a perception. You might see something interesting happening.
Perception.
Ooh. So you look over your shoulder. You see a half-orc arguing with another person within the bar. That apparently he's kind of upset because somebody tried to drink out of his keg that he was carrying around. You're not too sure what's going on with that, but
I try listening for a bit to figure out what this how this is gonna end.
apparently the half-orc is very angry because he made up a special mixture within his keg, and some drunk guy was just like, "Oh, a keg," and he wanted to go over and try to take some of it, but the half-orc is not too pleased with what's going on there. He says that it's specially made for him, and he doesn't really want to sell it at the moment because it's still settling, sort of thing. It's still aging. And
And I'm gonna do a stealth check.
alright,
Stealth. And I'm gonna try and make my way over to see what is making over to the keg.
alright, you're with that. You're at the keg. He doesn't notice you because he's too much in a heated argument with this other halfling actually that actually tried to do the same thing that you're probably doing right now.
So I swap out their kegs.
All right, so you're changing the keg.
Yeah.
All right.
Sleight of hand, maybe.
You bring it over to the rest of the guys. He doesn't seem to have noticed what you did.
So this is what all the fuss is about, huh?
And Gare's like, well, yeah, I guess so. Why don't you crack it open then?
I take a look at it. Do I smell any poison or anything?
All right. You smell it. It smells kind of odd for alcohol. You can try to use your poisoner's kit to. It has little things in it, so that way you can test to see if something's poisonous or not. You can roll your poisoner's kit. I don't know if you have it set up on that one.
I don't have it set up.
Just roll it on your other one. That's fine.
Did I set it up on another one?
I don't know.
Check. It never came up. Yeah, I did. It's intelligence.
Alrighty.
So,
So you can just roll that on your new character sheet, or you can roll it on your old one. It doesn't really matter to me. Alright. Doesn't seem any more poisonous than regular alcohol is.
well, you can never be too sure with those strange guys.
And when you like sort of you have like a tap on it, and when you turn the tap to get some of it out so that way you can test it, you see a little red eggs. It looks like in it, maybe fish eggs. You're not sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just drink it then.
It's pretty strong, and it tastes a little fishy, but it's strong stuff. Like if you were to take a shot glass of it, it would burn like a like a hard alcohol. So
So
it's
yeah,
it's it's decently aged. So you don't know why he was complaining about the age of it, but perhaps he's very particular about his alcohols.
so yeah, I pass it around. Weird stuff. I've never tasted this before.
Yeah, Gare takes a little glass of it. He sees that when you tasted it, that it sort of was gave you the reaction of a harder alcohol. So he just takes a little bit of it to try, and he downs it, and he gets an egg in his mouth, and he starts chewing it, and it's sort of sour in his mouth. You can tell by the look on his face. Um, oh, I'm still screen sharing.
Yeah.
That's fine. Wasn't showing anything too important. So he just sort of he has a sour look on his face, but otherwise he seems to be enjoying it as he would any other alcohol. And you sort of pass it around to the rest of the guys. They seem pretty happy. Like it's a hard alcohol. Usually you don't drink hard alcohol for the taste anyway.
Yeah.
So they're happy with it.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to do in particular.
All right. So you head up into the inn to rest. Just gonna roll something. Roll something here. All right. The night goes smoothly. Uh, no knocks on the door. That guy that you stole the keg from, he doesn't seem to have noticed yet. So you guys are safe. That's what that roll was, to see if he checked the keg or not.
Yeah.
He didn't check it yet. I guess he assumes that it's still aging. So he's he hasn't come to your door or anything trying to beat you up or anything, so you assume that your heist went over well.
So yeah, I'll pack my things. Not that I didn't keep most of it on me anyways, but
Yeah.
I'll head out.
So now you have a new keg that you're bringing along for the journey. It just seems like it's a harder alcohol, but it's just fishy tasting, but it's good either way. So you continue the north end of the city. That end is mostly warehouses and storage areas for grain and food and that sort of stuff. Um, there are some palm trees in this end of the district because they have like little rivers that are flowing by for people to draw water from.
We have
Not
enough.
sure where the source is of the water though.
We have enough rations to make it there and back, or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys bought enough stuff.
Yeah.
So you might want to refill a water skin or two just in case you go, because it is a desert. So you
Yeah.
might need a little bit extra. So you can fill your water skin here if you wish.
Yeah. We're just doing that.
Fair enough. So yeah, a couple guys, even if you don't, a couple other guys are gonna do it anyway. Seems like other people are drawing water from here anyway, so you assume that the water isn't poisoned or anything. Um, you can test it if you really wanted to, but
No, I don't.
that's fine. You continue on. The northern end of the city, it does have a gated partition, like the walls, like between the walls. It's a double-walled city, right? So there's an interior wall, and then a moat-like area, and then an exterior wall. So it's partitioned off. It's got the metal portcullises, the gates that you have to like turn a crank in order to lift. So that's at the northern end of the city. Uh, there's it seems kind of heavily guarded compared to the southern entrance.
Is it anything I should be worried about, or would I?
You can ask somebody if you wish.
Because I mean, we don't.
There are like 5 guards on either side of the gate. 2 on the inside and 3 in the area where the moat-like area is.
Okay. Because I mean, I'm not bringing any illegal stuff on the cart, so it should be fine, right?
Yeah, you do have it disguised as a merchant's cart just because that's the way that you guys get around no matter what you're doing. But otherwise, there's no lying happening. You just got expedition equipment and stuff.
Okay. So yeah, I'll head over to one of the guards then.
All right. There's 2 guys standing almost directly next to each other. One of them is a little bit older human. Another one's a slightly younger, but you can see that he has slight half orc ancestry, but he's not very half orcish. He doesn't even have green skin, but he has little tusks, little tiny ones, and he's just sort of standing there next to the older gentleman who's they both got full plate armor on. So, do you wish to approach either one of those?
Yeah, I'll approach them, and I'll
Alrighty.
ask why is the northern gate so heavily guarded? Should I be worried about anything?
The slightly half orc guy is standing there with his tiny little tusks that you can see peeking out of his helmet. And he says, "Well, there are monsters up north, so we tend to stay heavily guarded up here, just in case a monster raid decides to happen. I guess we haven't had one in a couple months, so I assume we're relatively safe."
We were traveling that way. Is there anything else you could tell us about those monsters?
He sees that you have the carts behind you, and he sees that there's like expedition equipment, but he also does see that there's like merchant symbols on there, and he says, "So, hiring out merchants to go up north, huh? You headed to Lockardia or the volcanic wastes?"
Yes, we're headed out to Locardia. There's a few dwarf there that's looking to buy new equipment.
Expedition equipment.
Quite a lot.
Interesting. Well, off you go then, unless if you have any other questions for me.
Yes, I was wondering, what did you know about the monsters?
Oh, the wildlife. Well, as you're probably well aware, if you're skilled with the area, there are jackal wares. Um, those are the most common ones that tend to attack caravans. So be wary of those. If any starving man approaches your caravan, be wary. He might not be a bad guy, but they tend to disguise themselves as starving people and just approach you while you're resting or whatnot. But otherwise, not too much dangerous up there. It's more there are other dangerous things in the desert, West of here, there have been sightings of mind flayers. I'm sure you're well aware of what those are. Uh, Other eldritch type creatures as well.
Hopefully,
And
come across any of those.
yeah, yeah, he's basically describing things that are statues in this area. Actually, tentacled faced creatures. Also, some other more deformed eldritch things that tend to exist is what he's describing. He also says, and sometimes from the burning sea, some flame elementals or whatnot will come up onto land, but they tend to stay pretty far away from the city. The Aquan Sea, there's water creatures, so if you're heading anywhere near that sea, although I don't know why you would if you're headed to Lacardia, yeah, just the water creatures that tend to come up on land, standard fare. Um, and other than that, I can't really think of too much common. You might find a few other things like medusas or whatnot, but they tend to stay hidden off the paths. So as long as you stick to the more well-treaded paths, you shouldn't encounter too much of that stuff. Anything else you would like to know?
No, thanks for your time, and I'll head back.
Alright, so the more humanish skin-looking half-orc guy is just gonna return to whatever it was he was doing. You're not really sure what he was doing before. He's just standing there. So you can continue down the shifting plains.
Yeah. So we're walking along one of the paths leading north.
Alright, so I'll bring up the map just because it'll be useful. Now, just as you're about to leave, actually, the half-orc guy says, "Oh, have you traveled up this way before?"
Have I?
Your character probably would have stayed mostly around
Yeah.
the mountain area, just simply because it's easier as a thief to uh, stay near your home area. Um, you wouldn't be moving around too much.
Yeah.
Halflings pretty much live everywhere in this world. So anywhere where there's humans, there's halflings. They tend to be friendly with the humans, so they can live anywhere where humans live. So you would have been born in probably the mountain area or nearby, so you wouldn't have strayed too far. Especially because you were earning ranks in the Thieves Guild from pretty early on in your life, I would assume.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you would have stayed near there. So you don't really know what's up there.
No, I haven't traveled this way before.
For a merchant, first time heading to Lacardia, I understand there's giants up there, lots of money to be made. The path that you came to get here is very special. It's a cleared path through the illusion of the desert. So be cautious. There are illusions up there. Try to remain as close as possible to the main road, otherwise you'll become lost.
Thanks for the information. I
No problem.
ask. I assume somebody knows about
It seems
it.
like even being a half orc, he seemed to catch on that you might not have gone up there before asking about what monsters were up there and such. So
Yeah.
he sort of caught on there. And as you continue north, I'll say that you get to about here, And there is a well-worn path up to this point. So about half a day's walk on this well-worn path. It's got like wagon wheel marks and horse hoof marks and everything. Even in this thick sand, it's still well-worn. But as soon as you get there, there's a triple branching path.
There's a triple path.
Yeah, there's one going, it seems to be heading west, one seems to be heading east, one seems to be heading north, at least as far as you can see.
So I assume we're taking the path north.
It's
Yeah.
up to you. I wouldn't give you this choice if it wouldn't make a difference, so.
How well is the path traveled, the north one or the middle one?
The middle one seems to be heading north. The western one seems to continue west somewhere. And the eastern one seems to be continuing east as far as you can see. So
Yeah,
as
I'm
far in the
just
distance
wondering if
as you can
like
see.
I'm just wondering if like the northern path or the middle one is way less traveled than the other ones, or
Oh, so you're wondering if there's less footprints that way?
yeah.
Okay. I'll get you, or you can get one of your 3 companions to make a survival check.
Who has survival then?
I know that I gave Gare survival, so he has survival if you want to use him. Whoops.
That's scare.
Alrighty. Gare. Yeah. He says, well, it seems like, he starts moving his hand along the sand to the northern one. Seems like a sandstorm just blew through. I'm having a hard time finding anything up here. Which is strange because you can see very faint uh, wagon wheel marks going north, very faint wagon wheel marks going east, and very faint wagon wheel marks going west. But before that, like where you're standing, it's a lot less faint. It's like very defined.
Uh,
Not sure what's going on here. And you would think that somebody who, like the half-orc guy that you were talking to, would know about something like this.
so I asked the archaeologist, what's your take on it? Have you heard anything about the ship?
He's still sitting in his in his chair on the wagon, and he looks up from his papers and he goes, and he climbs down off the thing, and he has a look off the wagon, and he has a look. We're headed north, aren't we?
We are. There's just some talks about illusion magic. I'm not too familiar with it.
That's what you want my opinion on. Ah, okay. And he's going to roll an Arcana check. See if he can detect where the illusion is trying to. If an illusion is trying to lead you anywhere.
Could I ask Fiddler too?
Yeah, you can
Or
ask anybody. Anybody can roll.
16.
Okay, roll. You got a 21. So, both your gnomish, I assume it was gnomish.
Yeah.
Gnomish friend and your archaeologist companion, I'll call him for now. He sort of looks at all of them, says, "Well, can definitely say that we shouldn't go north. That one's a little weird." And he sort of walks up toward it, and he places his hand. He like reaches out his hand forward, and he puts his hand through something, and suddenly you can no longer see his hand. and you just see desert where his hand should be. It's like, yeah, illusion magic. And he goes over to the western one and the eastern one. That same thing doesn't happen.
So I figure it's best we go towards the shore than against fire elementals.
Alrighty, so you're gonna go the way of the Aquan Sea. Okay, just a moment. Which is east from where you are.
Yeah.
Just gonna bring up the map again.
And since we have to go a bit east eventually anyways, so...
Yeah, fair enough. So let's see the map. There it is. So you're not too far. You're about half a day's walk north of Gaio, and you start heading this way.
Yeah.
And
so we're going north if we can, but...
Okay, well, as far as you could see,
Yeah.
it was going east. So you're headed east for a little while. So you get to about here. So remember that position.
Yeah.
Because I gotta roll something, and I don't want to screen share anymore while I'm doing that. Go. Alright. Not gonna DM roll it or anything, but... Alright. So, you continue along that path for a little while, and it seems like it's only headed east for quite a few miles, at least. And, well, longer than you thought. You had to make camp once already.
Yeah.
So, you're still following what looks like wagon wheel tracks. And, let's see, based on that roll, okay, you suddenly, you go over a dune, and it's about afternoon at this point, because you already had your rest, and you crest the hill, the dune, I should say, and you look at the bottom of this dune, and the tracks stop, suddenly.
Huh. So did we walk through some sort of illusion again? I'll backtrack a bit. Or if I look back, do I see the path?
You see the path that you came on, and you quite in the distance, you see it's relatively flat, and you're on top of a dune, so you can see pretty far from where you're currently standing. You do see the path going south that you came.
Okay, so I do see the path I came from.
Yeah, and you don't see a path going north anymore, but you do see a path going west. So it seems like that path going north was an illusion of centered in that area that was over there.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'll keep going then the way I was heading.
Alright, you continue to the bottom of the dune, and as soon as you pass through the bottom of the dune,
I hold my hand out.
now you can't see the path that you just came from.
Okay. So I go back. Do I see it?
Yeah, you go back, and it seems like there's a definite illusory wall there that seems to be obscuring the path there.
Okay, so this is not the way to go. I
Alright, so you walk on the other side. I'll just give you a brief description of what's on the other side of this illusory wall since you went past it. The tracks do continue, except they start going south slightly.
Okay.
It's just that you can't see the tracks on one side of the wall from the other.
To the east, it's only this wall.
Yes, I'll bring up the map again, just to make this a little bit easier to describe. Okay, so you're about here, approximately. So on the, I wish I could draw a line, but on the eastern side, yeah, the eastern side, the path continues a little bit south and continues going east. So when you go back on the other side of the wall, it's the same thing that I described before. You can see the path going west, and you can see the path going south, to the west.
Okay, so I go over to the archaeologist and ask if he knows anything about this. Should we just keep heading to the shoreline, or?
And he's actually nose deep in a book ever since that illusion popped up and you guys started walking east. He
Well,
started looking through his books to see if he could find anything about this area. Let me make a roll to see if he found what he found. He says, "Well, this place is an illusory place. Perhaps the illusions have changed recently. There's nothing about these particular illusions in the book."
shouldn't be anything dangerous, though.
Well, it is a desert. Anything could be dangerous.
We'll just head east, make for the shoreline.
Alrighty,
It'll be easier from there.
alrighty. Fair enough. So, let me bring up the map again. Because this area, before the shadow, was very confusing. So it's very intricate. So you continue heading, you go a little bit south, and then your circle, it seems like this path is circling a particularly tall sand dune. So you continue going south a little bit, and then it does continue going east.
Yeah.
So you're about here. You can see in the distance the shore, but the path doesn't go directly there, seems like. And where you're at, I'm going to say you had another rest at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Gotta stop sharing again. Okay. Another just D20. Alright. So, you've had a rest at this point in, again, mid-afternoon. Um, you see, you see the shore. You can head straight there, or there's a path that starts heading north. But it starts heading away from the shore, but it's going north.
So I say we stick to the shoreline.
Alright, so you're gonna head straight for the shore.
Like we always have the shore in our line of sight when we're traveling north. So we're just traveling north now.
Okay, so you're gonna the path sort of goes a little bit west, so it's going away from the shore, but it's also going
Yeah.
north. So you're going to deviate from the path.
Yeah, we'll deviate from the path, keeping the
Okay,
shore.
that's fine. I'm just making sure I understand what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
so you start deviating from the path, heading straight north. Okay. Let's see.
So we're making sure that we always see the shoreline as a reference.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. At least at the moment, it doesn't seem like anything's stopping you from seeing where the shore is.
Yeah.
So you can do that. So we're about here at where this little dip is a little bit. So you could see that the shore was getting further away south and was staying relatively the same north. So you decided to start heading north. And you got to about here. Whoops. Right here. So you can see the shore. And I'm going to make a roll for you. Slightly complicated area. Ooh. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to roll the second one, but the first one is what I'm applying. So the natural one there is what I'm applying. Okay. Let's start screen share again. I can bring up the map. Because you have a few people around you who are relatively good at survival, so they can tell which direction you're headed. Plus,
Yeah.
one of your people could easily have a compass, so they can tell whether you're going north or south, that sort of thing. So you're about right here when suddenly you could still vaguely see the path. It was going behind a sand dune when you reached approximately this area, and suddenly you can no longer see the shore or the path. You just see desert suddenly.
Okay, so we're gonna backtrack.
You start backtracking, even if you cross the threshold, you can no longer see the shore or the path.
I go back a bit further.
You go back a bit further from the threshold. Like the other ones, it seems like they were like illusory walls. So as soon as you pass through the wall, where the wall was, you could see what was on the other side again, right? It's
Yeah.
not doing that this time. Your entire group is with you as well. So everybody just suddenly was not able to see the shore or the path anymore.
So yeah, I go up and ask Thriller, so you have any idea what happened to the entire sea?
Well, it just vanished, didn't it? I saw the same thing as you. It's not there.
You have any idea what kind of magic can take us back?
Well, if you're asking me what spell, I can search my mind, and you can roll an Arcana for him. Alright, I'm gonna stop sharing for the second here. Alright, 26. He says, well, before I give you my main theory, I'm gonna give you all possibilities here. Magic is kind of fickle like that. The illusory walls could have moved. We could have been
How about you give
teleported
me
to.
the main area, and we'll stick to that.
Okay, well, I'm just giving you all possibilities here. My main theory, though, is that we may have been teleported.
Huh.
But yes, like I said, the illusory walls could have moved, or perhaps something else happened that I'm not entirely sure what it could be, but yeah, we are probably teleported.
Well, that's a shame. We'll start heading east again then.
Alright, one of your guys does have a compass, so
Uh,
you can start heading east
I don't know
from
how
where you are.
to
But
worry.
I can't show you the map anymore because you don't know where you are.
Yeah. Uh, is there any check to see if the compass is working as it's supposed to? Or
Okay, sure thing. You can. I would say a tinkerer's check is what it would be.
Tinkerer's
So
check?
if you had proficiency in tinkerer's tools, you would be able to use those. But if you don't, then you would have to just make a natural roll.
So
Tinkerer or use the stat whatever tinkerer's is.
I don't
Which
think
I don't know if tinkerer's has a
that's.
particular stat.
Yeah, you have to pick what they are.
Okay. Well, in that case, it would be intelligence.
Intelligence 9.
It seems to be working. Like, it doesn't just spin around and around, which is something that a compass isn't supposed to do unless it's broken, or something magnetic is nearby. It's just steadily pointing in one direction, which is what a compass is supposed to do.
Okay. So yeah, we'll head east then.
Alright. So you begin heading east from your current position, and I'll say about half a day passes, so it's getting dark out at this point. Starting to get dark. So the desert, you've been in it for a couple of days, and it gets cold at night, super cold, and it gets super hot during the day. So right now it's about even temperature, because it's halfway between there. So it's quite comfortable at the moment. Um, there's no like what people would call mirages, like the heat rising off the ground. There's none of that at the moment, so everything's clear. Um, so I'm going to make another roll. Okay, so here's what you see in front of you. You see what looks like a path headed north and a cave that the path leads out of. And it's like it's built, the cave is built into a sand dune. So it looks like a sand dune, and then there's like a space in there that you can go in, it looks like.
So we'll try and stay clear of the cave and keep heading east.
Alright, so you're going to ignore the northern path and keep heading east?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure I understand what's going on. So how wide of a berth do you give the cave?
Like, we can still see it, but we try to go along in case there's any
Okay.
creatures or something in there.
You can be about a half mile away and you can still easily see it.
Yeah.
So you can give that much of a berth if you want. So you continue along about a half hour as you continue from the western, like the cave is here and you're here, so this is east and this is west, so you're technically west from it. So you take about a half hour and you're north of it. And at this point, I'm going to make you make a perception check. You can roll with your main party members as well if you wish.
No need.
So who is this rolling? Is this you?
Yeah, me.
Alright.
Howler.
So you look at the mouth of the cave. You see some people gathered around the mouth of the cave. Just regular looking humans. At least from this distance. You're about a half a mile away. So you can see like dudes without shirts that are just sort of standing in front of a cave.
Yeah. I think we should stay. I think we should stay clear of them and
Okay.
keep our weapons ready if any of them were to approach.
Okay, fair enough. So they sort of hang around the cave. I'm just gonna roll here. Let's see. Something from my notes. Okay. Nope. Okay. So they don't really seem to notice you, the people. They just seem to be working on the front of the cave, something in front of the cave. You're not entirely sure. The perception check that you made before was to see what was in front of the cave for the people. You can't really clearly see what they're doing, but they seem to be like bending down, doing something in the sand, and then getting back up and doing something with their hands, and then bending back down, doing the same process over and over.
Some sort of cult, then, I'll assume.
Your assumptions are yours.
And I'll keep heading east.
Alright. So, cave here, you're up here. So you continue heading east. Let's see. Gotta roll 2 things at this point, I think. Yep. Check something else. Okay. Perception's based on wisdom or intelligence?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. Have to roll another one. Ooh. Okay. So, you're about, at this point, 3/4 mile away from the cave, because you just continued heading east. You didn't go back south or anything. You just continued heading east.
Yeah.
And it seems like from what you hear, you hear one of the wagon wheels go right loud, snap, and you see that the people who were around the cave are looking in your direction.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to do something about the wagon wheel first. It's broken completely, like the axle snapped.
Do we have any spares around there? I go check.
You do, but it will take a minute, like 10-15 minutes to replace, even with all the people that you have.
I'll have somebody try to replace it then.
Alrighty.
So they start
So
doing that.
you're going to be waiting for about 10-15 minutes while these people are looking at you.
Yeah. And I'm keeping a look at them as well to see if they approach or not.
Alright. A few of them seem to go inside the cave as soon as, like, you're keeping an eye on them. So when that happened, you immediately looked over to see what they do, and they looked over, and then 2 of them went into the cave. There's about 5 more outside the cave, and they acted strangely when they went inside the cave. They sort of hunched over a little bit and went in the cave, almost as if they were using their hands to help them run faster. It was kind of odd. And the rest of them are just sort of staring at you blankly without moving.
Okay. As long as they keep their distance, we'll just wait for the wheel.
Alright. About halfway through the wheel replacement, they got the broken axle out of there and everything, so they're just trying to get the other axle in there with the 2 extra wagon wheels, and they're just gonna throw away the broken ones. Just throw them to the side, because they seem to notice that those people are looking at you, and they're kind of worried about it as well, so they're not gonna bother keeping those broken parts. They're just gonna try to replace it and get out of there as soon as they can. After a while, you notice the 2 people, or 2 people, you don't know if they're the same people from this far away. 2 people come out, and they seem to be walking some sort of 4-legged beast of some sort.
What they
You're
are?
quite far away, so it will require a perception check to see if you can recognize any features on it.
Sure, I'll make a perception.
That's persuasion.
No, that's persuasion.
Yeah. Not perception.
No, that's performance.
That's performance.
Almost getting there. 9.
Perception, okay. Yeah, you don't really know what it is, but it seems to have a strange thickness to its, like a regular 4-legged beast doesn't, like its head is just on top of the 4 legs. This seems to have something taller on top. That's all you can see from this distance.
Yeah.
So it seems to have 4 legs and something taller on top rather than just a head. And they're walking in your direction.
Are they walking
The
in
2
our direction?
and the 5 are remaining close to the cave.
Okay,
So there's 2 guys of indeterminate origin that seem to be human, and one four-legged beast that seem to be walking in your direction. They don't seem to be rushing or anything.
So yeah, I'll bring Geir, Fisher, and Fridler, and I'll say to them, be ready for a fight, but let me do the talking.
They all nod in agreement that you should do the talking compared to them. So they sort of just are looking as menacing as any of them can look. Gare, obviously the most menacing looking of the bunch, but the rest of them are trying, at least. They're sort of puffing at their chests and sort of thing, trying to look like their thuggish selves. And they're just sort of... they're about 10-15 feet behind you. So if you want to do anything, do you want to approach, or do you want to just remain there until they get closer?
We'll approach a little bit, so we're away from the caravan.
Okay, fair enough. So the people of the caravan are just going to continue working or making sure nothing's approaching from any other direction, that sort of thing. So they're going to remain there, and the archaeologist, he's kind of nervous, but he assumes that you know what you're doing, so he's going to put his trust in you at the moment. So you approach, I'll say about 100 feet, and so that way you have a little bit of distance between you and the caravan. And the things are walking towards you. They are now, I'll say, 300 feet away from you. And I'll let you make another perception to see if you can identify that thing or any other features on the people.
Okay. Perception. 25, crit.
Alright. So the thing that's walking with them seems to have... It seems to be... how do I describe this? It seems to have a torso of a human from where the head of the animal should be.
Yeah.
So where the head of the animal should be, there's like a human torso with arms and a head, and the rest of it seems like a lion's body. And it's just sort of walking leisurely towards you. And
I do poison my.
Okay.
I try to be stealthy about it, but I do poison my rapier.
All right, you can have your weapon out, so they'll see that you have your weapon out.
Yeah.
But you can use sleight of hand to try to disguise what you're doing with the weapon.
Yeah. Sleight of hand.
Yeah, they're not gonna know the difference. Yeah, it seems like you're just sort of like perhaps using a cloth to wipe down your blade, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's all that they would see. So they approach the humanoids before, like when they're at 3. You notice that the humanoids seem to have scimitars on, so they seem to have weapons on them, which would be normal in a desert anyway. They seem to be approaching you. So I'll say that I'll give you a chance to do something at when they're 150 feet away. You want to do something?
They don't seem like they have hostile intent, right? From what I'm reading, or could I do an insight?
They're
maybe?
approaching you.
Yeah.
And you would have to use insight to determine whether they seem hostile or not, but they're just leisurely approaching you.
So I assume they're not hostile.
No, you don't. The face on especially the four-legged human body beast thing, kind of hard to read. Its face is all scrunched up as if it's...
Maybe I could do a nature check to see if I know what it is now that I have a better look.
You can attempt to do that.
15.
Alright, with a 15, you've heard of some creatures that seem to, like centaurs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You've heard of similar things, but not this specific one. But centaurs, I don't think are specifically evil,
I think
but
centaurs are good normally.
I'll double check for you.
But the legs of this creature, what is it? Like, is it?
Yeah, centaurs are neutral good,
Yeah,
so it might be good. The legs of this creature seem to be of lion.
of a lion. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just stand a bit in front of my companions and greet it
All
when it
right.
arrives.
All right. It approaches. It's about. Let's see. Just checking out something here. Okay. Um. Yeah. It's not gonna do anything like that, so you're fine. Um. It's. I'll say that it stops at about 50 feet away from you, and the two people flanking it are. They go about 20 feet in front of it, and they don't seem to have a leash on it or anything. It seems like they're just treating it like a person or a tamed beast, maybe something like that. Um, so
Also,
they
I
don't have
mean,
restraints on it or anything like a you would have like a tame bear. You might have a leash on it or restraints or that sort of thing.
so I
Yeah,
lost creature. So are you the one in charge here?
you're talking to the four-legged creature.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear that part. Okay, it. Let's see. Double check. It is going to speak. It says, "Are you lost?" It seems to have a female torso, so it has a female voice.
Yes, we were around the shore when we suddenly got teleported deeper into the desert.
It sighs and shakes its head and looks at you. Poor thing. Why don't you come back to our humble abode? We have maps there. I can show you where you are. And it has human arms. So on top of having the legs, it has the human arms that it's also like using to gesture and that sort of thing.
And what about the illusions? You have a map of those?
Well, they can change from time to time, but we have ones made a month ago.
I'm gonna do an insight check on that.
All right, go ahead. Kind of hard to read. Its face is all scrunched up. It looks like it's preparing for a sandstorm that isn't there. So it's kind of hard to read the intentions on the face of this creature.
So I appreciate the offer, but I think I'll stick with my caravan.
Oh, are you sure? We have food back there. Are you okay on your supplies?
Our supplies are fine.
Hmm. Okay, just thought I'd offer. My
I'm sure you need them yourselves.
sorry, what did you say?
I'm sure you need your supplies yourselves. It would be rude to take up too much of your time.
We have an underground farm where we create mushrooms. It's quite delightful. So
Yes,
we're
perhaps
we're we're not low on supplies. If you need anything.
perhaps another time. We're in a bit
Hmm.
of a rush.
Oh, that's a shame. Where are you headed? I can try to. It starts waving around, looking at the desert.
We're headed
Try.
to the shore.
You're headed to the shore. Which? Which shore specifically? There are two in this desert. I'm sure you're aware.
The right one. I don't know the name. I don't remember the name.
The Aquan Sea.
One C. Yeah.
Oh, the Aquan. Hmm. Starts looking back and forth. I'll have to consult my maps. If you wish to wait here another 5-10 minutes, I will be back with my maps, and I can show you the maps. I don't mind. I'll even give you a copy. My my followers are a little anxious though. You can see, and they sort of have the whole time they had their hands on the hilts of their scimitars in case you were to approach.
Yes, I very well understand. My followers are a bit anxious too, and I point to my companions holding their weapons.
They're sort of got their chest puffed out. One of them has their Gare just has his arms crossed. He doesn't even have his weapon out. The other two have their knives out ready. Uh, Otherwise, they're just sort of standing there, looking intimidating. Um, she says she sort of glances back at them, and then she sort of glances back at the caravan, and I'll let you make a perception check at this point. All right. This creature seems to be nodding its head at each one of the people. Perhaps it's counting.
Okay, so
It seems to be counting the amount of people that you have.
how long?
Takes about a minute. It's an extended pause, unless if you try to interrupt it.
No. So I'll tell it. We'll just wait here while you go consult your maps.
Sure. Like I said, another 10, 15 minutes. I do have to dig around in my cave and find them. It
It's
seems sort of smiling at this point.
so yeah. I'll wait. I'm not gonna approach or anything.
All right. It just turns around on its lion appendages and it sort of acts like a centaur would, except it's got lion appendages. And it starts walking away, and the humans are just sort of cautiously looking at you with their hands still on their weapons, and they walk backwards away from you for about 200 feet, and then they turn around and they actually start running back to the cave. And
Okay.
but the lion-legged thing is moving slowly like it was before.
And the cart is finished, right?
At this point, the cart is just about finished yet.
I'll wait until the lioness got all the way over to the cave, and then we'll start heading out.
All right, fair enough. You just wanted to be polite until it was gone. That's
Yeah.
fine. Okay. It gets to the cave just about the amount of time
Prepare
when.
waiting until it gets into the cave so it won't see us just bail out.
All right. So he's the guy who was helping fix the cart. He sort of wipes his brow and he sort of tightens the wheel to the axle because it was put together. It had to be put together, and he just sort of looks over at you guys, which are at this point a little bit further away from the caravan, and he just sort of gives you a signal. He just sort of waves you over, saying that it's done.
Okay. So yeah,
And the thing is, the lioness seems to be at the cave. It starts going down into it, but the humanoids are still. There's still a couple of them looking at you.
yeah, it's fine. We're leaving. They
All
she
right.
didn't tell them what happened. It's fine.
Either way, she's at the cave, and the other
Yeah,
ones are
we're
looking.
leaving.
So it's up to you what you want to do. So you can leave.
We're, we're headed east.
Alright, you continue heading east. The cave, we'll say, the cave disappears from view. And it becomes nighttime. Do you wish to stop and rest, or do you wish to continue through the night? Because you just encountered those things that you were suspicious of. That's why I ask you.
We should find like a big hill or something to camp next to.
Alright, yeah, there's sand dunes everywhere. It's the
Yeah.
desert. So you can just
We'll,
get to a higher place in the area.
we'll walk a bit extra than normal, but we're still sleeping during the night.
Alright. So, make sure you keep track of your guys' abilities. I'm just going to say that because I don't remember what alert does. So.
Yeah, can't be surprised.
Okay. We're gonna say. I'm gonna say. Is there anybody keeping watches?
Yeah, always. Like I would assume there's probably we're setting up in small groups, some near the archaeologists, some near the carts, and every group has their own people on watch. Like I can
I would
stay up
assume that your
for
guys would be near
yeah.
the archaeologist. So.
Yeah, we're near him. We're all
Okay,
near
so
each other. It's just we're not right into each other.
yeah. So, do you wish to set up fires, or are you going to forego that?
We'll set up fires. It's probably getting cold. So
Okay. I'm just giving you options here. Okay, so you have people on watches. Are you going to be taking watches, or I just want to know if I have to use your stats or not? Or
I'll
any of your group.
yeah, I'll use.
Whoever in your group that you want to have first watch, second watch, whatever.
Sure, I can do first, and Fisher can do second.
Fair enough. Alright, so on your watch, I'm going to get you to make 3 perception checks.
That was 4 or no?
No.
No.
The first one was from when you were interacting with the creature. So, 13, you don't really notice anything for the first couple of hours. Actually, it's an hour and a half, and then 2 hours. That's how I have it set up, because first watch and second watch is 4 hours and second watch is 4 hours. That's how I have it set up. Unless if you want to do it differently.
It's fine.
Okay, because you're allowed to be awake 4 hours during your rest and still get a long rest. So that's why I allow that to happen. So yeah. First hour and a half, you don't really see too much. Your second hour and a half, in about the middle, you notice shadows in the distance. It's completely dark other than your camps. So the fact that you're even seeing this is relatively miraculous. You see like reflections of like eyes in the distance. It seems like something's gathering around you. You can continue to take your rest if you want. At that point, it's up to you. Like you're barely seeing like reflections of the fire in something across in the distance. You're not sure what it is because there's no
I'm gonna
light.
shoot a warning shot towards them with my
Yeah,
crossbow.
you can.
I'm gonna try and like aim for where I would assume the ground is beneath them. So I might accidentally hit them, but shit happens.
All right, you can roll the hit.
Hand crossbow.
Alright. Let's see.
I'm basically aiming at where I think is beneath their feet.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you hit him. Even with like an added advantage to them being in the dark and stuff, you hit them.
Okay. No, I'm not trying to hit them. I'm trying to hit the ground in front of them.
Okay, if you're trying to hit the ground in front of them, then
Yeah.
you hit the ground in front of them. Okay, that's fine. I'll just revert. Yeah, that's fine. I'll
Kind
just
of just
reverse my
making
math.
them aware that we see them too.
Alright, so
I'll
you hit
keep
the ground in front of it. You hear. And then you don't see the reflections anymore. So perhaps it was a jackal or something like that? I'm not sure.
I will hope that that was enough to scare them away. But I will stay on watch.
Alright,
Like I am
so
keeping a lookout still.
alright, so you continue, and I'll
I'll
take that.
inform the other people on watch too that there were some people nearby. They shouldn't be worried about it.
Alright, so you heard some growling after you made the warning shot. Maybe it was a wild animal, you don't know. You didn't exactly see it. You just saw the reflections in its eyes.
Yeah.
So they're aware. They'll be aware. So they're especially on the lookout. That might make a difference. You never know. And I'll take that 14. You don't see anything else after that approaching.
Okay. Then
All right.
I'll take my rest. I'll of course tell Fisher about it, and he should be on the
All
lookout.
right. He knows what to look for, and he has his special abilities, whatever those are. So you can roll for him. Perception, 3 of them.
Oh, he wasn't a good person to pick. +1.
Oh well, that's all right. So he sees. I'll let you control his reactions here,
Yeah.
just because it's a little bit easier this way. So he doesn't see anything for the first hour and a half. It's still pitch black out. And it's still pitch black out on the second one, and he sees the same thing. Only he sees, like, you saw, like, a couple of them, 2 or 3, and they ran off. He sees, like, 5 or 6.
So yeah, he's gonna shake me awake again.
Alright, so you're in control of Howler again.
And
So
he's gonna
what would
tell me
Howler
that
do?
he's basically just gonna tell me that they're back, and I'm gonna have a look too,
Alright.
if I
Yeah,
can see.
you see the 5 sets of eyes in the reflections that he's pointing out to you. He's not making it obvious, obviously. He knows better than to do that. He's just saying, check this location, blah blah blah, sort of thing.
Huh, okay. So
Now you see 5 of them.
I think I know how to scare them away. This is probably. I'll just tell Fisher, check out this shot.
Alright, shoot again.
And I'm gonna poison my weapon.
Okay.
And I assume they are surprised because I'm aiming at their head this time. Like I'm.
Okay. Go ahead. You can aim at them this time if you want.
Yeah. So it's disadvantage because they're far away, and advantage because they're surprised, right? So no.
Yeah, it evens out. But they do have higher DC.
I'm gonna use a luck on that one.
Alrighty, go ahead.
16. Wow.
Alright. Let me just double check. The armor class. Yeah, even with a bonus of +4, they're still hit. So you just barely managed to hit the thing.
Okay, and that should be a critical hit.
Yep.
So
They weren't expecting you to actually see them.
that damage plus that damage plus. Yeah, he has to make a con save as well.
Okay. Con. He's got +0, so it's just
That's
a
the
d20.
poison damage. So it's DC 14. So yeah, 22 poison damage, 34 sneak attack, and plus another 5 piercings of 15 from the bolt alone. So let's see.
So 15 plus 34 plus 22?
49 plus 22, yeah.
Yeah, 49 plus 22. That's what I got. 71 damage total.
Not bad.
Let's see. Yeah, the thing you hear, and then you hear like a light thud because it's sand, but it seems to have been dispatched, whatever it was.
So, and then I'm gonna shout
But
out
the
to
other ones are standing firm. This time they're not moving.
Okay, so and I'm gonna shout out to the darkness. Last time was a warning shot. You better leave before it's too late.
Okay, as you shout this out, you hear like growling, and the other 4 are slowly getting closer, very slowly.
I wake up everyone.
All right, so it's initiative basically. You're gonna start killing
Yeah.
these things. All right. So well, I have the turn order here. Um, I'm just gonna throw all your companions on one,
Yeah.
unless if you have like actual things that you can put in the turn order for them.
No, I don't have yet.
Just gonna throw them all in at the same time with Ost's picture.
21 is me.
But I'm going to roll with Fisher because Fisher has the highest. Because he has a +4, I think.
Plus 8. No, he has the feet. That's plus 5. So Dex plus 5, basically.
So his initiative is 8 or is it
Yeah, it's 8.
Dex? Okay.
Because of the alert feat, which is this. If I can click it or not. Yeah.
Okay. I rolled with Ost's token selected, so they technically get to go before you do. And I'm gonna throw in an enemy here. Just gotta grab a picture for them. Second. Just a second. Gotta save the picture. I hate that I have to do that. I'll do it. Come on. Okay, I'm still in. Okay, I thought I was crashing for a second there. Because it took a long time for the picture to show up. Or the save picture thing to show up.
Yeah.
So that should have went to my folder. And I'll just grab it out of the folder. See if it shows up. That is not what I wanted. It saved it as a browser? HTML something? Why did it do that?
You probably hit the wrong save when you made the picture. Or
There you go.
because there's one where you saved a link to the picture at one. It happens a few
Okay.
times.
Yeah. That's annoying. Either way, I think I have it now. Unless I click the same thing again. It's still an HTML file. Yeah, it says Chrome HTML document. That's not what I want. Go away. Save image as. Open image, a new tab. Let's try that. See. Yeah, it says copy image address, but that's not what I'm trying to do. Save file type as. Why is it doing that? That's weird. I'll just get a different one. It's giving me a hard time. Even though that was the one that I wanted. Just grab a different one. I like this one better anyway. Let's do it. Okay, this time it's saving it as an image. I was looking at the file type it was saving it as, and for some reason that one it would only let me save as a HTML, which I don't understand. Whatever, I got it. Oh, now I gotta scroll up and find it. This get thrown in there. What happened? It got me out of. That's annoying. Got me out of roll 20 for some reason.
Yeah.
After problem. Come on. Loading, loading, loading. 10. Come on. Stop giving me a hard time here. It'll work. Did something come up?
What?
No, it did not.
No.
God, why is it doing this? Keeps opening the image in the browser over my Roll20 window. Wait for it to fully load then. Annoying, but I'll have to do it. It's taking forever. Come on. Seems like it was having trouble loading something.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, I want to throw. This is the same way I do it every other time, so. God, fuck. The image file is too big. Screw you. Just use this instead. Because that file is big enough. Or small enough. Or whatever. Just gonna use this. It's not what I wanted, but it's what I
Yeah.
get. Okay. Where did I roll initiative for it yet? No. I
No.
just rolled for it. Okay, so give me its initiative, which is Dex, I guess, +2. That was really frustrating. Okay. Alright. So, your companions, what do you want them to do?
First off, I assume Fiddler and Gael are waking up, so they're getting back up.
Yes, they'll have to use half their movement to stand up, though, because they were prone.
Yeah.
So if you want them to move, you can play them in whatever order you want, except yourself, which has a separate initiative.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do with them?
So they're both gonna look a bit confused around, and Thriller is gonna see the people or the eyes staring at us, and he's gonna shoot the firebolt that way.
Alright. 15 hits.
Okay. Was it +2? It's based on intelligence. It should be.
Does he have a +2 in intelligence? I don't know.
No, he has a 4 in intelligence. That's why I'm wondering. It's intelligence
Maybe
plus.
you have it. Did you set it up manually?
Uh, no.
Because it might be based on strength or something. If you set it up manually.
What about we get dex, intelligence, um, spellcasting ability, intelligence, third. There, done, perfect. I think this should be it. I'm just checking. No, why not?
Let me see. Is it? There we go. It says 1d20 CS. Less than symbol 20
Oh yeah, it's.
plus
I'll
2
just make
pro.
it simple. 1d10. I'm not level 5, so if I get int.
Just looking at your
Now it's normal.
yeah, that's weird. I don't know why it was doing that. But
No.
either way, 18 hits.
Okay.
So he can roll damage. Right.
6.
Let's clear that dead one off the board. Okay, 6. So he has firebolt. He shot it with 6. Anything
Yep.
else that guy can do?
No,
Move on to
that's
the next guy.
him. Fisher will also take a shot at one of them.
Alright.
This short bow. 10.
10 misses.
Okay. So that's those 3 guys' turns. Kerr will approach a bit, so he's a bit in front now.
Alright. Fair enough. So, your turn, I guess.
Yeah.
You would be up next after those guys. And oh, and on their turn, you can order the other people. So, all of the rest of the 25, or however many it was I said that it was. Yeah, 25. 26 actually, because the archaeologist is included. So you can order them around during that turn.
I'll just tell them to scan the area for more enemies or more hostiles.
Alright, well the
More.
archaeologist, he's scrambling to get in the middle of all that huge group of people, so that way he has less chance of getting hurt. But otherwise, they'll do exactly as you say.
Yeah. So they're looking if there's more people, or if not, we can
Alrighty.
probably handle this.
Alrighty. I'll give you their results at the back at the top of turn order.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's your turn.
So I will also take a shot at one of them. And it's both my hand crossbows. 13 and 25.
Alright, 13 misses. Or, actually 13 hits. And 25 hits.
So that's 11 and 10.
Alright. Are you aiming for the same guy that got hit by a firebolt?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Plus 11. Just gonna... Okay, yeah, it required both hits. But he is downed. By that. You just hear as it thumps to the ground. Alright. So I assume that's the rest of your turn.
Yeah, I'll get a bit closer to. So I'm near
Alrighty.
the guy.
Yeah, you're near gear. Alright. So enemy turn. So you hear the 3 remaining ones that are in front. You hear. And you see that suddenly they begin to stand up straight, as if they were humanoid, and they start rushing towards you. One of them's gonna hit Gare, simply because he's there. Now you can see that they're standing on 2 legs, and they still have a jackal-like head.
What fighting style does Geir have? I don't know if you picked one.
Fighting style? I gave him champion.
No, but that's not fighting style.
Oh, right, fighting style. That was the one thing that I forgot to give him. Crap. Your handbook. I would say, I'd give him probably, but I'll double check to see if that's one of them. Yeah, here we
In
go.
the Dawnforge cast, there's the thing that gives +1 AC and lets you do a reaction to give disadvantage. That thing.
Yeah. The one that I would have given him though is let's see. Yeah, I was gonna give him great weapon fighting, just so that way
Yeah,
he
that's
could
fine.
enhance his great weapons a little
How
bit
does
better.
that work again? I don't remember it. It's re-rolling ones and twos, right?
Let's see. It just closed it as soon as you said that.
I think it's re-rolling ones and twos.
When you roll a 1 or 2 on a damage die for an attack, you make with a melee weapon that you are wielding with 2 hands. You can re-roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weapon must have two-handed or versatile. So that makes his two-handed weapons a little more viable. Because he's going partially rogue.
Yeah.
Technically, his archery is a bit better naturally, so this will make his great weapons a little bit better. So he's going after him. What was the... Okay. Alright, so it rushes up to him and it tries to lower its head on him with its teeth. +4. And... Okay. Yeah, +4 to hit. Ooh. That'd hit Gare.
Yeah.
And it does... 1d... Doesn't do too much damage. Four damage to him.
Yeah.
Alright. And the other two are gonna go after you. They're gonna run a little bit further. to get at you since you were the one who slaughtered the other two. They attacked him just because he was a little bit closer, but they're gonna attack you. What was it for? They're both gonna swing at you, or with their mouths. They're gonna
That's
swing
what they
their
hit.
mouths.
12 misses. So one hit.
Alright. So one of them comes at you, attempts to bite you. You're just a little bit too low for it to snap at you. And the other one, while you're stepping back from this first one, just manages to jump towards you and grab onto you. So 2d4. Didn't do too much. 3 damage.
Yeah,
Minimum
I'm gonna
damage.
half that.
So you can half that to 1, I think.
Yeah.
So you take 1 damage. So it just barely gets through your armor and hurts you a little bit, but it doesn't do too much to you. And on the same turn, behind you, you hear, and you see, as you turn around to look, 3 more rushing up from the back. So they're gonna hit random people, and I'm just gonna roll to see if they hit those random people. So that's +4 to hit. Hit, and miss. So 2 of your thief allies are currently being harried by these things, is what I'm going to say is happening. They're like grabbing onto their arm and preventing them from moving, sort of thing. Alright. So that will be that for this turn. Your allies say, there's more! There's one more over there! And they point to the west from your camp, and you can see that there is glowing from eyes that seems to be from an upright position, just looking over towards you guys.
Okay.
Hasn't done anything yet. That particular one. The other wolves or jackal things that are looking humanoid, they sort of have a humanoid form to them, and they're sort of just swarming you. But there is something in the distance that's just sort of watching for the moment. Alright, so it is your companion's turns.
Okay, so Friddler and Fisher are gonna go off and help the thieves member that's being harried.
Alright, fair enough.
They think we got
You'll
things
have
covered here, from the looks of it.
Yeah, Firebolt definitely can hit, and a short bow is it's in range with a short bow.
Yeah.
So you can do those. Roll to hit on those.
17
17 hits.
for 1 damage.
Shame, but he is hit, and it does sort of distract him a little bit, so he stops harrying that particular guy.
And Fisher takes a shot at it.
The same one or the other one?
Yeah, the other one. Sure, the other one.
Alright.
and he,
So it's just a little bit too chaotic, and he ends up hitting one of the other Thieves Guild members in the shoulder instead.
The one that's being harried in the leg.
Yeah. He hits one of the other guys who isn't being harried in the shoulder, and he's like, Fisher again! And he rips the arrow out.
Sorry. And he's gonna put away his bow and run off towards the guy, or the wolf.
Alright, fair enough.
So I don't know if he can get there on his action dash.
He's within range, but he had to double move in order to get there.
Yeah, so he's just gonna be near that wolf then. And Ger is gonna hit at whatever's hitting him.
Sure
It's
thing.
great. And whatever's hitting him should be next to me, because we're next to each other, right? Or
Yeah, you're relatively close enough. I'll give it to you.
11
11 misses.
misses.
So he just swings this huge club at them, but it
He
just
tries to get them all, but ends up getting none of them.
pretty much. He just swings it in a huge arc, but the thing just deftly just ducks under it. So then I assume that's his turn.
Yeah, that's his
Unless
turn.
you got it. Alright. Your turn.
Then it's me, and I'm gonna hopefully kill the thing that just attacked me.
Sure. Go ahead and attempt a
Sure.
hit. Those both hit.
So 22. And I'm gonna tell the other things. You really don't know when to run, do you?
Alright, the thing that you just hit is dead. Or dying, at least.
Yeah.
It's down. And you just sort of like hit it with the sword, and it makes even though it's humanoid, it makes a dog-like whimpering noise when it's struck down.
Yeah.
So it did require both hits, just so you know.
So yeah, I'm looking towards the other.
There's one that's attacking you, and there's one that's attacking Gare. Those are the two that are near you. So what do you want to do?
Well, if I can use my free action to threaten it, then I will. If not, then I'll take the hit.
You can say something to it and see what happens.
I'll tell it, you better leave before you end up like your friends over here.
As soon as you say that, you make an intimidation roll. We'll see what happens based on that. It looks like it's panicking and it's just about to back away, and then you hear a feline-like growl over where the eyes are that were pointed out, and it looks over at that, and it's going to. It gets a chance to save, even though you got a critical because of this. But it's got a lot higher to get. It has 0 charisma, so good luck. No, even though the feline-like growl came from the other side, and it seemed to be afraid of that just as much as of you, it still was too afraid and ran away. So the one that was attacking you is now fleeing. You can get an opportunity attack on it if you want.
It hasn't hit me, so I'll just let it flee.
Alright, it starts running away. And you hear as it runs away.
Yeah.
But the other one that's attacking Gare, it wasn't paying attention, so you don't get to intimidate him. Alright, so enemy turn. +4 to hit Gare. Nope, that's not going to hit Gare. 2 more rolls. Actually, yeah, 2 rolls. 1, 2. Okay, so the one that got hit by the fire bolt just sort of glanced over and stopped for a minute, and then decided to just go back at what it was doing. And the other one that missed before is now harrying another guy.
Okay.
And on this turn, something comes out from the shadows, and it seems to be the creature that you were talking to before. And it's looking directly at you now. And it says, "You should have just come for supper." And it starts to come at you. But it's not close enough yet. So it's about 30 feet away from you at this point. So it's got its hands in front of it. One of the hands has a dagger in it. But other than that, it just looks like a regular human animal hybrid thing, kind of like centaurs. and it's just sort of angry at you with its teeth bared, and it's coming towards you.
I really do hope you brought your maps with you when you came up this way. Is what I tell him back.
She doesn't appear to have maps, just from a cursory glance.
No. It's just something to.
I know. I'm continuing the joke with saying that she doesn't have them, so that
Yeah.
might anger you a little bit. So she's coming towards you. Ally turn.
Gary's gonna try and finish up the thing he's dealing with.
Which hasn't been hit yet.
10.
So he's just swinging this great club. It seems like this thing that he's fighting is a little bit more dexterous than he's anticipated.
He's
And he's just sort of swinging with huge arcs.
and he's just gonna use his action surge, and he's gonna try and pin it down to the ground. So he's gonna go for a grapple.
Fair enough. Since the great club isn't working, may as well try something else. All right.
Or
Contested.
yeah, contested acrobatics or athletics. Against
Alright, he's going to use his acrobatics because it's a little bit higher, but not much. I don't even know if he can get that high. No.
If he crit, then he would have beaten it.
Yeah, well, if it would have critted, I would have gave it to it anyway, just because of the crit. But either way, yeah, it's pinned, and it's sort of barking at him, trying to push with its almost human-like hands with claws on them. It's trying to push him back, but it's not working, and it's trying to bite at him. But he is grappled.
Yeah, so Garrett's just pinning him down to the ground. He's really annoyed with him. He's trying to grab his club, but he can't manage to do anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it goes, I suppose. So you got two other guys. I think.
Fisher is gonna. He was next to the thing that was carrying the other guy.
Yeah, he's got his knives out or whatever weapons
Yeah,
you gave him. I didn't look.
Help him with a rapier and sword.
Okay, so he has regular weapons. So 18 hits, but the 11 misses.
17.
17 damage. Okay, so is this the one that was already damaged, or is this a different one?
No.
Okay, this one wasn't damaged. Okay, so 17. It seems like it's on its way out already, just from that one attack. Just from that one hit, it seems like it's already almost fatally wounded.
Yeah. Maybe the Thieves Guild member won't have such a big problem now.
Yeah.
Nah.
So it's now focusing on him because he's attacking him, and the other guy is just sort of trying to make sure everything's protected. The guy that was being harried, he was just sort of trying to make sure that everything's protected behind him.
So Friddler is gonna go and help the guy he was helping, but this time he's gonna try and sneak up on him.
Sure.
Because fire didn't work. So bonus action hide. Or do I have to use my bonus action to dash to get there?
No, you're close enough.
Okay.
I'll say that he used his regular movement to get a little closer on his previous turns.
So that's a 16. So unless he sees him, then he would get advantage.
Right. He's gonna try. He has no wisdom and he has a little bonus for perception. So no, 7 is lower than 16. So.
And then he's gonna use his daggers.
Alright, 16 hits and 20 hits as a result. Alright. So the one that he was attacking. Oh, that's terrible.
What strength? Oh, it's supposed to be +3, not -1.
Okay.
So it's a 4
so
plus 3, 7, and it's a 2 plus 3, so that's a 5. It's a 5 and a 7 and a 5. So 17.
5 plus 7 plus 5.
And it took 1 fire damage, so 18 total.
Whoops, I just did something wrong. 1 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5. Just double checking my math there. Okay, he did just enough damage to fell the creature. So it is technically unconscious, but it might be better to just move on rather than finishing it off.
Yeah.
It's up to you. It's up to him. It's technically just unconscious, even though you used lethal, because it did exactly his threshold for health. So it's unconscious. But from his perspective, it just sort of fell to the ground.
Yeah. So that's all of their turns.
All right, your turn. You see the creature moving towards you, and it's hissing and not very happy looking. And it's got a dagger in its hands.
So I'm gonna apply a. If I apply a poison with my action, can I shoot with my bonus action?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot him with a grell poison then.
All right.
21.
21 to hit.
Con save 11.
Yeah, that hits. 21 hits. For 8 piercing. All right. Gonna throw the 8 piercing. Okay. Whoops, I should have cleared this. That's alright. Put the 8 piercing. So it's the Grell poison?
Yeah.
Okay. Con. It has +2 to con. Better than 0. 9.
So it's paralyzed.
Alright. She hisses at you, and then you just are deftly putting this. You have like a little open bottle, and you just quickly pop the cork off and just dump it onto this onto the crossbow, and you put the crossbow up. Well, technically it's a hand crossbow, so it's a single hand. So you just put your crossbow up and shoot, and it goes right into the front of the chest area, because it's sort of bearing up to try to leap towards you.
How
And
far away is it?
30 feet.
Okay. So I'm gonna walk up 25 feet and I'm gonna say I thought you could take more than that one little arrow.
Yeah, it gets hit right in the chest, and it just sort of collapses.
Yeah, so I'm walking up to it and I'm just taunting it. I thought you could take a little more than that.
Yeah, it's paralyzed on the ground, so can't respond.
Yeah, I know.
And again, you don't see the maps. All right.
That's
Enemy
my turn.
turn. All right, enemy turn. So Gare has to deal with his problem. Whew.
He's
All
also
right.
grappled. I don't know what the. I'll have to look up the grapple what it does. But he
It
is
can
kin.
still attack.
Yeah.
So it critted him while it was grappled.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's. There's no rule against that, is there?
No, he can still do everything as normal. He just can't move away. Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna try to bite him right on the jugular there. Let's see. His damage is 1d4 plus 2, I think.
Yeah. So 2d4.
So 2d4 d4 plus 2. So he does 7 damage, which is quite a bit for him.
Yeah.
And he just sinks his teeth into the throat area. And you just hear Gare going, "Ah, come on!" But otherwise, he doesn't seem like he's dying or anything. He just seems like he's very annoyed by this thing that seems to be doing a lot more than it should be, in his opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. D20. I don't need two D20s. Get rid of that. and +4 for the other guys. There's 2 remaining. One Thieves Guild member that was being harried is now currently on the ground.
I thought I
And
were there just
sorry?
aren't they both dead, or were there more?
There was 2. One has still 1 HP left, and the other one hasn't been touched yet.
Okay.
Because there were 3, and the mage took it, or the trickster took down 1, and the other one has 1 HP left. So the one with 1 HP was trying to grab, but it got an 8, so it didn't work. He was trying to grab what's his name, or hit him at least, and 8 obviously isn't enough to hit him.
Yeah.
So, but the other one that they haven't been paying attention to so far, it seems like it's knocked down. The thieves member that it's been harrying for a little while, and actually has him in a dire situation. So he needs help. Okay. Back up to your allies.
Friddler finished with his guy, so he will look around for others that might need help.
Yeah, there's a guy. He sees one is attacking Fisher, which I guess he might or might not assume that Fisher has it, based on his record. But
He'll assume Fisher can run away if it comes to it.
all right. So then there's another Thieves Guild member, which is currently unnamed, who is currently on the ground with this humanoid-looking dog thing pinning him to the ground and sort of like scratching his eyes out.
So yeah, he'll approach that, and on the way, shoot a firebolt.
All right, he's approaching it. You can shoot. 16 hits.
Hopefully that'll make.
It turns around as soon as he gets hit. I'll throw his damage on a calculator here. 0 plus 1, just so that way it's 1. And it turns around, but it seems like the Thieves Guild member that's on the ground is in dire straits. It doesn't seem like the Thieves Guild member that's on the ground can heal himself, so he'll need external help. But it's distracted and now notices that a mage is attacking him, so he's going to go after him.
Yeah.
So he's turned around looking at him.
This very powerful mage with with his damaging firebolts.
Yeah, it seems like he's more skilled at sneaking up on things than taking them out with magic. But either way, that was his turn. Okay.
Fisher.
So Fisher's up.
He'll try and kill this thing. 12.
12 just barely hits.
Okay, so it's dead.
Yeah, it had 1 HP. That's right. It is dead. So he just sort of swings at it, and it
around, and if nothing else happened, then he's gonna go towards the guy that's down on the ground.
Yeah, there is a guy down on the ground, and currently there is a humanoid beast thing standing over him, currently glancing behind itself, looking at the mage. I forget his name.
Friddler.
Okay. Yeah, it's just looking. It's glancing over at him in his direction, so it might be distracted long enough for him to get towards the injured guy.
Yeah, he's moving that way. He has a bonus action dash, so.
Yeah, he's there. He's there now.
Yeah, he'll bonus action sneak instead. That sounds better.
Yeah, he doesn't need to dash, so if you want to sneak, you can do that.
Okay, so he's sneaking up to him.
Alright. Roll your stealth for him. Alright. We'll see if he gets noticed on his next turn.
Yeah.
Or on the enemy turn, I should say. So that's your ally's turn. Now it's your turn.
So yeah, I'll go up to the paralyzed thing, and it's stabby time.
Unfortunately, it's not coup de grace, so it can still survive.
14.
Possibly. Yep, 14 hits. But it does do a lot more damage than usual, so...
So that's 42 total.
42. Yikes. Let's see. Yeah, it has more health than that. So it is still alive. How much damage did you do to it before? 8?
The damage before.
Sorry, I lost track of my calculators.
It's fine. I can find it somewhere. Great club,
I think
fire.
he did 8. Yeah.
Hand crossbow. No. When was it then?
Yeah, you used your hand crossbow.
Yeah, probably 8. Yeah, 8.
Yeah, it's 8.
So 50.
Sorry about that. It just lost track of my damage counters there. Okay, so how much was it?
50 total.
50?
Yeah, that's total with the 8.
Okay. So plus 50. What's going on here? There we go. Alright. It's still breathing. It's severely damaged after you just walked up and stabbed it, but it's still breathing. And it's looking up at you. Its eyes are able to move, and it's just looking up at you.
So I'll say we have some supper in the carts if you're really hungry. And I'll just smirk at it.
Alright. Yeah, yeah, you can do that. Alright. Enemy turn. So there's one thing left that has 1 HP. I'm gonna roll for him. He's going to run towards the small little gnome that was casting magic on it. Oh wait, first it has to make a perception check.
David
Forgot
notices.
about that. Just to see if he notices that somebody's approaching him from behind, which is where the guy he was just killing was.
Yeah.
Perception.
Wisdom.
+2.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, he notices him. He's like, he sort of turns around and he growls at him, and he's actually going to attack Fisher instead, simply because he's
Fisher always gets attacked.
yeah, he's trying to fix this other guy. So he's just gonna try to attack him, which is +4 to hit. That's not gonna hit him. So he runs up to Fisher and tries to swing his claws at him, but it doesn't hit him. He's ducked down, and he just ducks down a little bit more and manages to get out of the way. There's one attacking Gare. 20's gonna hit him.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's.
Gare. So Gare.
Yeah, forgot to go as well, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. So before this happens, what does Gare do with this thing that he's trying to take care of? I forgot.
Um, I
He's
don't know
got
what
it grappled, so
you
he can
can
do
do
a
for this.
myriad of things with it.
I don't know what you would have me roll for this, but he's gonna just try and strangle this thing. He's pissed off at it. He can't hit it with
All
his.
right,
So he's
that's strength. I'll say
away.
strength.
Strength check
Yeah.
or athletics.
He's still grappled. It's still grappled, so it has to escape the grapple if it wants to. But he can attempt to strangle it with strength.
Okay, or normal strength.
That's fine. I'll say that that's fine. Yeah, 20. It's going to try to resist. It automatically has to try to resist because it's in a dire situation. It's going to try to protect itself. instinctively. So strength. Oh, it has no strength. Nope. So it puts its clawed hands on his shoulders, like the classic choking scenes in movies. It's trying to push him off, but it's currently being choked out.
Uh,
I'll say that there's a few more turns before it completely gets choked out.
yeah, as he's clawing the arm, he does take damage, which is the 20.
Okay, yes.
He's
Yes, it's still going to try to attack him. It's not trying to escape for some reason.
yeah, I know. Like,
It's just very focused on trying to kill him rather than trying to escape. So,
I saw arms getting scratched up already.
yeah. Okay, so damage. Where is it?
Yeah, 1d4.
Yeah, 1d4. Sorry about that. 1d4 plus 2. It's not doing very good, but it's still fighting back. It's still got a little bit of fight left in it. And it's still clawing up his arms. He has a little bit of space between his armor and his arms, or his armor, a little space between his armor, and it's just managing to get some of the claw right in there. All right, and the lion person creature is going to attempt to get up.
A con
See if
save.
it can. Yes, con save. 2. Is 13 enough?
Yes, DC is 11. So
Okay, so it manages to start being roused back up. It's technically still
the
prone,
end
I
of
think.
its turn. So yeah, it's prone.
All right, so it's still prone, but now it can move, and I'll say that as a free action. It says, "You're the one who invaded our area, not knowing what we are." That's all it says. So it is ally's turn.
Yeah.
So
Garrett
Gare.
just he's trying to kill this thing.
All right,
He's
so
talking about.
make another strength. See if he can hold on. Yeah, I don't think this thing has a chance, but I'll roll its 0 strength anyway. Yeah, now it's just feebly just clawing at him, desperately trying to kill him or get loose at this point. It's not going to be able to escape his grapple yet, so it would have to do that on its turn.
Yeah.
And okay, your next 2 characters. Mage, Gnome, or Fisher first?
Fisher, he just got attacked, so he'll.
Yeah, the thing that he was trying to sneak around is now currently attacking him. Alright, those both hit.
So that's 16.
Yeah, it only had 1 damage on it.
So
So
17. So it's barely alive.
yeah, it's the same situation as before. It seems like Fisher is helping everybody else get kills, and he's not getting any. If he was in a first-person shooter, he'd be pretty angry at that.
Yeah.
But he's helping, so it's better than what he does sometimes, which is nothing. So Mage sees that this thing is on the brink.
He sees it's on the brink, and he'll.
Even if he only hits it for 1 this time, it will do something.
Poof. 19.
Yep, 19 hits. Yep, it's completely decimated. It actually gets lit on fire, and it just sort of goes and then falls over.
And he'll go towards the other guy to see how his condition is.
All right, so both of them are close enough to get next to the guy. He is currently bleeding out unless if something is done.
So they'll do a medicine check.
Sure, both of them can. I'll let them both do it. Yeah, whoever it was first managed to do it. He has long claw marks on his face and bite marks on his chest, and they just start wrapping him up quickly.
Yeah, Fisher's about to go over and do it, but Thriller tells him to move away. He doesn't have a very good track record.
Yeah, so he just sort of waves them off, and he's just like, all right. And he just sort of is looking. Fisher is now looking around to see if he can do anything
Yeah.
else, but that's the end of his turn.
Yeah.
So the fiddler is just bandaging up this guy with whatever cloth he can get his hands on. And he's managing to staunch the bleeding, so he'll at least be alive. He might have to rest for a while.
Yeah.
Which would be fine. You have carts, so you might be able to throw him on back of one of them until he recovers. But either way, it is now your turn. If you remember what the creature said to you before.
And here I was leaving your area alone. You're making accusations like that.
Alright, it's still alive. Do you want to attack it?
How badly does it look hurt?
Let me just double check its HP. And its total HP, it's over half dealt with at this point. It's bloodied in previous versions. So you can decide what to do with it.
I'm gonna attack it this turn or this round.
Okay, go ahead. Alright, those both do hit.
So 30.
30? 30 total?
30 total.
Alright. I just cleared my stupid calculator on accident. I luckily remember how much HP it had. So 30 total?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Alright. It is still alive, but it is severely damaged at this point.
Yeah, as I'm striking it down, I will say we still have an opening for a tour guide if you're interested.
Yeah, I think it's too late for that now. It snarls.
Well, you had the offer.
Alright. So, it is their turn, and she is the only thing left in the area. Let's see, what does this do?
Getting back up is half its movement, so.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get up. Even though technically it could attack you while on the ground.
Yeah.
But it's going to get up. Yeah. Let's see. Let me double check something. It has abilities that I haven't been using. But it's almost too late for that anyway. I'm just gonna check to see if this will work. Oh, it's a little bit further than this. Okay. Okay. I need you to make okay.
Let's save.
I need you to make a just gonna double check everything here.
I'm hearing wisdom.
A wisdom saving throw
I did.
at advantage.
At advantage. That's a
Yeah.
20.
Alright. What's the saving throw?
Probably less than 20. Because that's a natural.
Probably. I'm just gonna double check. Okay, here it is. Yeah, it is less. She says, "Why don't you just leave me alone and let me go?" And you feel like a magical effect coming over you. And then you manage to resist it.
I tell her back, why don't you just come along and be our tour guide?
And it will say, "If it'll get me out alive, I guess." At this point, it's desperate, even if you're just joking.
Then it's a deal, and I shake its hand.
You're serious?
Yeah. I'm
You know
taking.
let it live? Okay. It was just about to die too. So it'll definitely do it. It's in no position to do anything else at this point. It has nothing left. It has a few spells, but it's going to forego using those.
For now. I'll tie her up like hands, and so she can't run away fast, even if she casts magic.
All right, fair enough. But you do know that it has magic due to the fact that it cast something on you that you managed to resist. So its arms are bound, and it's looking at you with a very furious expression on, and it says, "Okay, I didn't even listen to where you were trying to go, so where are you trying to go?"
To the shore, east, before we got teleported there.
You're, and it says, it has its arms bound, and it says, "Show me a map."
You're supposed
And
to
you're,
have a map, I tell him.
it says, "You really fell for that? I didn't have a map in the first place."
I knew that. And I just laugh at it.
Everybody is gathering around, and before you bring it a map, uh, one of your companions, Fisher, approaches and says, "We made out of that pretty well. Only one injured."
Well, that's not a lot to brag about. I tell the creature we have captured. What are you anyway?
It says, "You never heard of our kind, and yet you're exploring here." Just sort of hissing at you as it says
I've
this.
heard about those dog people, jackals, right?
I'll get you the name.
If I,
Jackal Wares.
yeah,
The
jackal.
Jackal Wares.
I heard about those,
Um,
not you.
yeah, she says, "I'm a Lamia." It snarls at you.
I probably haven't heard of it. So, anyone heard of a lamia before?
The archaeologist is very cautiously coming towards you, and he says, "Yes, we've heard of Lamias before. They're inherently evil.
Oh,
I should have known that. I just wasn't paying attention when you were talking to it."
do you think you'll make a great tour guide?
It definitely would know this terrain, so it could get us through the desert unharmed if you wished. Though be very careful. And he starts describing the effect that it tried to put on you. Basically, it can try to charm person is the name of the spell,
Yeah.
and you can ask your arcane trickster what that means. Um, and it can disguise itself. It can cast major image. Uh, It can also cast Mirror Image, Scrying. It can scry. It can also cast Suggestion on you. And it can also cast Gaius once a day. So it is quite a dangerous creature, though you seem to have it in a very compromised situation.
So I'm yeah, I'm not keeping that thing around. I'm killing it.
All right,
I
but it did say that it was going to point to where you are on the map.
yeah. I'll not kill it immediately, but
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
I just
So
made up my mind. I'm not keeping it around.
all right. So he just explains it to you, and he seems to the archaeologist seems to get what you're putting down. I guess pick up what you're putting down is the expression, and he just sort of wanders off, saying, "Well, if you really want to keep it that bad, then I'll just have to obey, I guess." And he just walks off.
I pat him on the back. Don't worry.
All right, and I'm gonna get you to roll deception, just to see if it is convinced that you're going to actually save it. um, it does have +4 to insight, so it does have a chance. So I'm gonna roll. No, it doesn't see through your cutting lies. So at the moment, it is going to trust you. Though, as long as you don't allow it to rest, it won't heal. So you can keep it in a tortured position
So
until you
yeah,
decide to
I'll just
dispatch it.
ask. I'll just we were asking the direction and stuff, and I was gonna say, you know, what happens if we catch you lying, right? And kind of
Yes, and I did hear what he just said, so I'm not gonna cast any spells on you. I'm sure your friends will notice.
so I'll
So what it's gonna do is, if you show it a world map,
yeah,
which you do have,
the world map, and I'm trying to gauge whether I believe it or not. I'm a bit uncertain.
all right, you can roll insight on whatever it says. So it points a position on the map, which is way up here,
And why?
and
And
it
that's where.
says that its cave is here, and you guys were here, a little bit ways off from the cave.
We were traveling west while we meant to travel east.
Basically, it knows a little bit about the area, so I'll just say that you ask
Yeah.
it. It says that basically you describe the area you were, and you have like a couple of Thieves Guild members behind it, threatening it with stabbing if it decides to do anything bad. And it caves in eventually and says that you technically were here and you were walking up here, and then suddenly a teleportation spell took you over here. It was a trap that they had set up to lure people over to
Okay.
where they are. So it was a trap. It was something that this Lamia was able to set up.
So I guess I should be thanking you then for bringing us closer.
That's how you want to look at it.
So
So technically you are right here. So if you head straight north, it claims that you will get right to here, and you'll be able to find your way from there.
yeah. So I'll make an insight to see if I believe it. I believe
Sure
it
thing.
later, but
Yes, it seems like it's under extreme duress, and it believes that you're not that you know that it's got the ability to cast spells, which you obviously do know that because it cast one on you. So it's refraining from casting spells on you. It's telling the truth, but it's hoping that it'll find a situation where it can escape,
Yeah.
or
Figured.
you guys decide to uh, kill it or something. So it's looking for It seems like it's looking for an opportunity to escape, but it's telling the truth in an effort to buy it time to
Yeah.
allow it to escape.
So I'll just say I'm taking precautions from your spellcasting, so I'll gag it up so it can't speak.
All right. Yep. So any your archaeologist friend says that at will it can just disguise itself as another human, in a humanoid form, and at will it can make a major image. So it can just do that without, but uh, people will be keeping a close eye on it just in case it decides to do that.
Yeah.
But the other things, it actually has to have components and stuff to cast.
I'll tell it I appreciate its cooperation, but we have found another one with more experience. We rather hire and I'm stabbing it.
All right, so it's got a gag in its mouth, and there's a bunch of thieves guild members surrounding it.
Hopefully,
So
it'll just die.
So go ahead and make your attacks.
Is it surprised?
Hmm. It's been expecting you to kill it.
Yeah.
So I'll say that technically it's not. But you do have a bunch of people around it, so you do technically get sneak attack. Yep, those both hit.
So 38.
38. Let's see. Just gonna double check. Yeah, that's over its entire. It's over its maximum threshold, and it just slumps over.
Anyone know
And
if
one of the other Thieves Guild members walks up and says, "Do you want to take it with us as a trophy or something?" Or
I was just wondering if any of its parts were worth something. You cast spells and I go over
and
Riddler.
yeah,
You,
he looks it over and he says, "Oh, I can look it over while we're traveling if you want to take it with us, but I'm not entirely sure just by looking at it. I'd have to cut it open."
well, I'm not carrying it, but sure. It's worth
Yeah,
some.
we can put it where the axle was that broke, or
Yeah.
that we had to replace. We can just throw it there and I'll cut it open along the way.
So yeah, that's
He,
what we're doing.
he sort of shrugs.
Dead love, yeah.
And you can get a lion pelt off of it without the head, obviously.
Yeah.
And any lion parts that it's actually biologically lion on those parts, so you could technically eat it if you wanted to. But the human part, it's just the more humanoid-looking part. It's technically just humanoid meat and stuff, so you might not want to eat that. And it doesn't have any special parts other than the pelt that you can take with you.
I added a lion pelt to my inventory then.
All right. So basically, what I'm going to say is the lion pelt got put down somewhere in the encampment, and technically, if you go back, you can get it.
Yeah.
So you can keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But I'll say that for now, it's getting a little bit late. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's been over 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I'll end that part there, and later on, if it's just you, or if you want to continue it another day, that's an option. We'll say that you guys get its directions are truthful, and you just continue heading north. And it said that I'll say that it said before it died that the illusions, as long as you continue straight on the path that it points out to you, which is pretty much straight up north. None of its teleportation traps are there, and it's all the illusions that are there. As long as you continue forward, it you'll get through easily. So it. I'll say that after the next couple days, the injured guy gets recovered, and you guys reach the southern edge. I'll bring up the map again. You guys reach the southern edge here,
of the elemental
and
class.
you can see the explosions. There are safe paths to walk on, and I'll say that when you guys were going south, those safe paths were destroyed. So there are safe paths on the way up there, but we'll continue it another time. See if you can get past the. We did spend a lot of time trying to get your team set up, so next time we'll be able to finish it no problem. So yeah, you would be continuing up here. Sometimes the paths get blown up, so there might be that difficulty. Those types of things are what you could be looking forward to. And then, of course, there's the regular Ucarid with none of the tainted creatures or anything. So you'll get to see what it looked like before, if you could decide to continue it.
Yeah.
So, any last minute remarks or thoughts or anything that you wanted to do before you reached this border here?
No, not really.
Alrighty, I'll stop the stream. Where is it?